Hey there, happy gardeners. I'm Fanula, and today I'm in my own garden. It's the middle of November, and I was walking around today and just looking at what's going on out in my own garden, and it's time to harvest pomegranates. So that made me decide, let's talk about pomegranate trees. I don't know if you can see it, but right behind me is my pomegranate tree. It's been in the ground for about 30 years, so it's really productive. And I've already picked some pomegranates, but there's more on the tree right now that need picking as soon as possible. We had a little rain the other day. The tree has taken up all that extra moisture. Some of the fruit are splitting, so it's time to get the rest of it off my tree into my kitchen. I never manage to harvest every single one of them. I always leave some for the birds, and I'll show you the ones I'm going to do. Let's talk a little bit first about the history of a pomegranate tree, or pomegranates in general. They were first grown and cultivated way back in Persia and the Himalayas and in India, and they were brought by traders and invaders into the Mediterranean region of Europe. So Italy and Greece and all those nice warm areas of Europe, they've been growing pomegranates forever. In fact, a lot of scholars believe that it wasn't actually an apple in the Garden of Eden, but instead it was a pomegranate. That's how old and revered these beautiful trees are. So they've been endowed with magical properties and magical qualities, probably because they're so darn healthy for you. They are full of vitamin C, full of vitamin K. Even the seeds are nutritious. They have protein, they have fiber. Everything about the pomegranate fruit is so good for you. I'm going to show you when I split one open just how beautiful they are too. So a little bit more about the health benefits of pomegranates. We all know in the grocery store and whatnot that it's being pushed as being healthy. But did you know that from 1 cup of pomegranate juice, you can get up to 40% of your vitamin C needs in 1 cup of juice? There's also vitamin K. There is nutrients and antioxidants. Researchers, don't quote me on this, but researchers are saying that it's good for bone health, heart health, good for athletic performance. It's just, they are really, really good for you. So why not grow a pomegranate tree? If you've got space in your garden, why not grow a pomegranate tree? There are a number of fabulous varieties that do really, really well here in Northern California. I'm in Zone 9B, I'm in West Petaluma. Perfect climate for pomegranates. The one I've got is called Wonderful, and it absolutely is wonderful. There are others. There's Grenada, there is Eversweet, there's Ambrosia. The one I'm most intrigued about and I'm going to make space for next year in my garden is called Parthyanka. Even darker, even more intense than this wonderful pomegranate of mine called Wonderful. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about how to grow a pomegranate tree. What do they like? What conditions do they do best in? So they like well-drained soil. Good drainage is vital. They like a good sunny spot to grow in. I'm just going to tell you the first pomegranate tree I ever saw. I'm from Ireland. I was raised in Ireland. You do not grow pomegranate trees in Ireland, believe me. But when I was 19, I went to Greece, and I got off the airplane and I was walking out, going to go to Piraeus to go get a ferry and go to one of the islands. And in a parking lot where there was really nothing much except parking lot and dirt, there was the most spectacular tree, and it was a pomegranate tree. It was October. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and that image has stuck in my head forever. So not only is it nutritious, and forgive me if I'm rambling on here, it's absolutely a beautiful tree. You get fall color, you get beautiful shape, you get fabulous flowers in the spring, and then you get this amazing fruit. Anyway, I digressed. What you need: full sun, excellent drainage, protect from gophers when the tree is young. And that's basically it. You want good, warm sun. I'm in zone 9B. We do not have the hottest summers, nothing like Greece, but my tree is loaded with fruit. It's very happy, and all it gets is hot sun, Petaluma hot sun, excellent drainage, protection from deer, protection from gophers, and consistent watering. They're really drought tolerant once established, but when you're trying to establish your tree, make sure your watering is consistent, regular, deep, and consistent. One of the things about inconsistent watering, including sudden fall rains, is that the fruit will split, makes it a little less easy to store is about it. But if you juice everything right away, you've totally got that covered too. So we've talked about good drainage, we've talked about full sun. They are not heavy feeders, but it really doesn't hurt to give them a nice bed of compost, a couple inches of compost over where you know the roots are every fall. That'll see it through till spring. And that's kind of it. They are super easy to take care of. They're also self-fruitful, meaning you don't need to have 2 pomegranates for your fruit to be produced on your tree. You just need 1. However, they are so delicious, you probably will find yourself planting a second one at some point. Yeah, there's really not a lot to it. They're fabulous looking trees too, whatever way you grow them. The one I've got here behind me, I've trained as a multi-trunk specimen, but you can train them as a single trunk, like the one I saw in Greece many years ago. You can even use them as a hedge and prune them and shape them as a hedge. You lessen the amount of fruit you're going to get that way though, but it is still really pretty. You get those flowers, you get the leaves, but it's very twiggy looking in the fall. I'm going to harvest some pomegranates. Here we go. This one, look at the red. How to tell if it's a ripe pomegranate or not. What you want is that good, deep, rich red color. It needs to be a little shiny, not matte, and it also makes a sound. So if you have a pomegranate tree, it makes this weird little thunk sound. If there isn't a thunk, it's not quite ripe. If it's ready, either use your snips or twist and pull. I kind of like doing the snip method myself. What I'm doing today is trying to get ahead of the next rain shower because I know there's more rain coming. Because when it rains, like it did yesterday, you're going to get the fruit splitting. You can see it split. Nothing wrong with split fruit as long as you don't leave it too long on the tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down to the house and I'll probably juice it this evening. I'll probably eat some today as well. But there's some at the top of the tree I'm just going to leave for the birds. You want that deep, rich red color. Or if it's splitting, you pick those. And I'm noticing that these are really ripe and it's actually pretty juicy even though it's split. It's going to be so much fun eating it. I actually even like the pith a little bit. It's bitter, but there's something about bitter tastes that just feel really good in November. I'm just going to make a little stash because I forgot to bring my basket. But notice while I'm walking around just how beautiful this tree is. The multi-trunk is really pretty. There's a little bit of fall color happening. There's going to be more. Like I said before, the spring flowers are just gorgeous. They're really rich coral red. Hummingbirds absolutely adore the tree. So it's a multi-purpose, multi-function tree. Great habitat tree. For the pomegranates you just can't reach, the birds get them. And in spring, the hummingbirds love them. While I'm harvesting, I'm really paying attention to the twiggy growth that is lifeless. And fall is a very good time to actually do a little bit of pruning on your pomegranate too. When it's a completely dead, twiggy bit of growth, you can just snip that off. Because you know, when it's winter and all the leaves have fallen off, it's going to be an awful lot harder to tell what's live and what is dead. So I always do a little bit of fall pruning at the exact same time. but it is absolutely heavenly. This guy is not quite ripe. I'm not hearing the thunking noise. One thing about pomegranates is that the fruit is produced on shoots produced from old wood. So you want to be a little bit careful if you are going to really hedge it or really prune it back heavily. If you do a real heavy pruning, you're probably going to miss 1 or 2 years of fruit. Oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to tell you about, if you're planting a new pomegranate tree, it takes 4 or 5 years before you get fruit. So don't despair. It's going to look really pretty for a couple of years with the flowers and with the bushing up and getting its shape, but you're not really going to see fruit production for 4 or 5 years. So don't despair. I'm going to be experiencing that myself next year when I plant that Parthionka that I have my eye on. But meanwhile, I'm going to be enjoying these fabulous, wonderful pomegranates. Think of what your tree is trying to do. It's putting down deep roots. Oh, this is so good. All right, I have to. Oh, man, these things are messy, but irresistible. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. There are some pomegranate varieties that don't stain, but this isn't one of them. Look at that. Oh, look here. So this, see that moldy bit right there? I wouldn't eat this one. I wouldn't juice this one. Luckily, I have chickens, so I'm going to feed the chickens all those bits. I also have a pig. He won't care either. So somebody is going to get to enjoy this. I just wouldn't recommend eating anything if you see any mold on it at all. So I think that's all I know about pomegranates. But if I've forgotten something, please drop me a comment. I'll be happy to answer. Again, this is Fanula. This is my pomegranate tree. This is my garden. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. Follow along for my future videos. Drop by for a visit at Cottage Gardens. You can find me there. But yeah, ask any questions you like. I'm happy to answer. The main thing is get outside in your own garden and garden. It is amazing. Here we are, the middle of November. It is absolutely gorgeous out. There's nowhere I'd rather be. And I wish that for all of you everywhere. Happy gardening!